on the women involved with the purse building. So as you all know that follow me, there's not a lot of women in construction and real estate, and something that was super important to me with this project was to give opportunities for women to be involved in this project. So I am here today with 3 powerhouse women that totally kicked ass on this project. So I'm here with Lindsay Edison. She's the owner and designer of Lindsay Edison Branding and Design. She helped execute this amazing showroom that we're going to kind of dive deeper into. I also have Rachel Harvey. She is the owner, installer, designer of Impact Signs and Graphics. She did this red, this yellow, all these stories that you see all over our windows. She's worked with us on several projects. She's here today. And we have Kate Lynch with Kate O Group. She's the principal and owner. She does graphic design and she does websites. So, hello ladies.
Hi.
Welcome. I think this is the first time we've been together since the full chaos of the installation, which was about
Christmas time?
February, but just before Christmas, we were all crazed trying to get this done before the end of the year. We actually did the final installation, I guess, end of February, but we had a lot of different parts, and when we would see each other, we were all kind of like, we were all kind of crossing. So I guess I'll get started where I want each one of you just to kind of talk briefly about what it is that you do and how you were involved with the purse building. And for all you out there, the purse building just underwent a massive demo, and we took this building that was 30 years empty and demoed it, cleaned it up, kind of revived it, and now is engaged and active on this downtown Dallas street corner. We're on Elm Street, one of the busiest streets downtown, and we basically, revived it and opened it back up and back to life. So kind of walk through what it is that you do and how you were involved with this project. So I'll start with you, Lindsay.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Edison. I'm a designer, interior designer, decorator, stager, you name it, and also do some brand marketing as well. I like to combine the two in a lot of the work that I do because I do feel like they go hand in hand, especially in corporate jobs. What I specifically did on this project was sort of take all of your ideas, I feel like, and we talked about them for in very in depth for long periods of time, and then we funneled them and created kind of what we see today.
I love color. You can't tell, there's lots of color. And one thing I love about Lindsay is she embraces it. When you've got this idea, you're trying to put to execution, and you're tearing up pictures and you're kind of trying to put it into words. Having the designer and having the person who can understand your vision and help make it happen. I mean, kind of talk through how do you do that?
I think you really have to, well, first of all, I was very inspired by this project, and you're very inspiring as well. So it's easy to kind of get on the Tanya train. When you're excited about something, it's super easy for that to happen. And then I do love color, and I do love pattern. I mean, if anybody looks at my Instagram, they're going to see color, pattern, texture. That's what I do. So when you wanted yellow and we wanted red, I mean, I took that, and yes, we did a lot of it, but I don't think we overdid it. I think you walk in and you see the pops, and I think you feel the vibe without it being, McDonald's.
Right.
Right?
McDonald's.
You know what I mean? So I just think we worked really well together. I think we listened to each other really well, and I think I listened to you, and I think you heard my advice, and I think we worked well.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, Rachel, tell us a little bit about what you do,
Okay.
and kind of you had a difficult task of, once we had the whole red and yellow and we kind of had the design going, trying to carry that over to the signage and to the decals. So a little bit about what you do, and then, maybe expand a little bit about how you were involved with sort of carrying that brand, carrying that look over to the visuals on the signage.
Okay. Yeah, I'm Rachel Harvey, Impact Signs and Graphics. So I did all the printing of the graphics, the windows, the walls, the doors. We did some cutout lettering. We did some full panel windows, very bright colors. I had a lot of fun with this job. Like Lindsay, I also like to use color and, some bold stuff and exciting stuff. So, when I saw the direction you were going with the first building, I was like, I love this. And I think that was how it was easy for all of us to be inspired. It's such a cool building and it's such a fun project with just how much fun the graphics were and the decorations.
There was nothing boring.
It was nothing boring, but I love that about it. And as I'll tell you this, when I was outside installing all the windows, I had so much walk-by traffic, and people were excited, people were interested, everybody wanted to know what I was doing, what this building was about, what you were going to be, selling, or what was going to be the end result. And there was some very challenging graphics. Some of it was really high up. Some of it was really old wood I had to wrap. And but with your help and guidance, you kind of told me, okay, this is my idea, and then I came up with something, and we really got an awesome end result with the graphics.
This girl is not afraid of heights.
Yes.
I showed up and I said, who's going to do the installation? That's a big job. She's like, with my team, but I'm in charge. I show up. This lady here is on a 20+ foot ladder at the top, one leg, doing the install. So, I'm not afraid of heights.
I'm not afraid of
When
heights.
you did the first building sign over there and you were straddling the ladder, I was like, oh, dear Lord.
I know, and it's funny because some people, that's their biggest fear is being on a ladder, but my biggest fear is like spiders. Like a ladder doesn't scare me.
That's funny.
So, Kate, tell us a little bit about what you do. And, Kate was very involved with our inspiration wall, with our Jane. So, we'll get a little bit into Jane, but, I remember when I was talking to you about wanting to put this big old face on the wall, and you're like, who? What? And I said, then I want to do another street grid, and, in bright yellow. So, talk to us about what it is that you do and how you're involved with the project.
Okay. Well, I do design work, so graphic design, website design. On this particular project, I worked on some of the wall decals and the inspiration wall, and so it was just taking a mix of the old, like Jane, with the bright, vibrant colors of Wildcat Management and mixing the two together to create the look and feel for the first building and for the showroom.
So how do you balance, when you're doing the graphic design, how do you balance the old with the new? Because one thing that was a challenge when we first came in was that this building has got so much history. It's 114 years old. You've got the exposed brick, you've got the hardwood floors, you've got all the original character. And it's so beautiful that you want to complement it. But we wanted to create a creative space with lots of natural light and lots of color to really give it, innovative and technology and creative, sort of this youthful young space mixed with the old. When you're designing graphics and like our inspiration wall, how do you tailor that down? How do you find that balance?
It's really a refining process of not overdoing the old and not overdoing the modern, and it's finding a good balance of the two so that they really complement each other. For instance, with the wall, Jane tells such a story, she didn't need a lot with her. So the idea of the street grid kind of came around. I don't know how many rounds we did, but we started with a street.
I show make it up my mind.
We started with a street grid, just a smaller street grid, and then we thought, I don't know if that'll work on this wall, And so we played around with some different ideas, and then I think we were doing kind of a hodgepodge pattern of lines, and then it was like, we're all sitting down talking, and it was like, wait, street grid, we need to go back to the street grid. And so it was a good mix of finding the right scale and the right, just not overshadowing the old with the new.
And I actually think the coolest thing about Jane is her glasses.
Yeah,
I think
gave her some modern red
the
glasses.
fact that she was all black and white, and she looked dated, like she looked like she was from, the past. Put some red glasses on that girl, and she
is
take it.
fashionable.
She's walking down the street like, welcome that first building. Like,
and it kind of draws it in with the Wildcat logo and everything else, so it's perfect.
It was interesting too, the process. I know, the four of us, we worked together over a period of, probably 6 months, kind of working through the story. And sometimes as you're telling the story, you kind of almost come full circle a little bit. And, when we were talking about the design, we were talking about the signage, we were talking about, even the inspiration walls, and, even with Jane, where, you start to go a direction. And even as the building was sort of being, coming together, where all of a sudden, at one time we had, we talked about doing something more elaborate with the floors, or taking all the brick and the chemical to make it real clean. And then as it started to kind of peel back the layers, we said, we know what's so cool. It's not making it look new. It's, keeping it old and, keeping it kind of rustic and gritty. So, it's kind of the same thing with you all, with the process where, we're talking about with the Jane wall, we tried polka dots, and then we tried stripes, and then we tried to give her some funky modern look, and then we said, you know what, it's like the building. What makes it cool is keeping the history and keeping the old.
Yeah.
But
adding a little flair.
Adding flair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So how many of
And there's literal flair.
Yeah.
That's the flair we learned today.
So how many of you either were familiar with the Hearst building and or knew who Jane Jacobs even was?
I was not familiar with the first building, and I was not familiar with Jane, but like I said before, she is the new homegirl. She's like my BFF.
So Jane kind of became the inspiration of this building, this project. Jane Jacobs was an urban activist in New York. Before urban planning was a thing, and I think she died around 2006. She's been dead for at least a decade, I believe. But her vision and her advocacy was to preserve old buildings and to keep neighborhood fabric in place, and to to work within the community to keep the community diversified and keep the neighborhood fabric there. And as we started reviving this building in West End, there was sort of this feeling of recognizing that we wanted to keep the old and sort of incorporate the new, but activate this building in a way that kind of made it the entry point to the Dallas West End and kind of reactivate this area downtown. So as we started the process, the whole idea of Jane kind of becoming a part of the story, I think really resonated, and we all kind of laughed where, Jane was like she was sort of like a mascot, if you will.
Yeah.
So, with this project and with your businesses, what are some things that inspire you? How do you get up every morning and stay motivated with your business? How do you stay inspired?
Personally, I'm inspired by my clients. I think that meeting new people every single day, I'm an extrovert. I thrive off being around human beings. So meeting new people, seeing their home, being invited into their home and into their personal life, it's very personal what I do. People open up their closets and they're embarrassed and like, you should see mine. It's
product. I'm an artist at heart, and so I love to make stuff. And in my business, I get to make stuff. I get to create advertising for people. And when I step back and see what I've done, it makes me proud. And I can go around Dallas, Fort Worth, Grapevine, Texas. My stamp is everywhere.
Yeah.
My family gets tired of me saying, "Look, guys, I made this." They're like, "Mom, we know." But that's inspiring to me to see my stuff everywhere. I'm very proud of what I do. Yeah.
Mine would be a lot like Lindsay, just the passion of my clients that I work with and their vision really just kind of stirs up in me creativity and keeps me inspired to keep going. And one of the things I loved about this particular project was working with all of the women. And I think I have it correct that this was one of the first buildings owned by a woman when women could own property in Dallas. And so that kind of made it even cooler that, you know, we're a team of women working on bringing this back to life. So I thought that was really cool.
So for women that are out there that are watching this that think, you know, I'm interested in interior design, or I'm interested in, you know, signs and branding or graphic design, what's your advice for other women on how to go about starting their own business?
I think that you should just go for it. I mean, if you have a passion and there's something that you really want to do with your life and you don't know how to get started, reach out to somebody who's already doing it and ask them what they did and ask them to shadow you. You know, like I've had people call me and say, "Can I just follow you for a day?"
Internships,
Yeah,
I mean, mentor.
and I think
questions,
that's ask questions, reach out to people, and I think you'll be surprised at how open people are to that.
What advice do you have, Rachel?
I'd say don't give up and be confident in yourself and know you can do it. And you know, there's going to be some hard days, hard years maybe even, but you'll get through that, and the reward is very worth it to have your own business. It's pretty amazing.
I would say don't be afraid to ask. You know, like Lindsay, don't be afraid to ask questions for advice, but don't be afraid to ask for the opportunity. So just really ask.
Well, I want to tell you three that, I mean, you know, working with you all and this project has been such a special project for me. I've been involved with a lot of different things, you know, oil and gas, construction, venture capital. This project really was such a special and unique opportunity, and being able to surround myself with other amazing women, work with women like you all. I mean, I see this as a relationship that we're going to continue down the road and really encourage to reach out to other women businesses, reach out to other women you know, encourage them to get involved. Maybe if it's something they haven't done before, invite them to the table. You know, I know Lindsay's expanding her commercial business. You're doing other stuff downtown. And now you're going gangbuster with your websites and, you know, with other businesses downtown. So, you know, look for opportunities to invite other women to the table. So I think we're going to kind of conclude at this point, but we are going to post below everyone's contact information, their Instagram, their website, their email. Reach out to these women, give them business, and you know, track their progress, because we're going to be doing a lot more features both on these women and other women in the future to encourage more education, information, and collaboration. So thank you guys for joining us.
Bye.